Hey folks, Josh here, back for another weekly business vlog. How the heck are you? I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, Josh, where the heck have you been? Or you might be thinking, wait, I didn't even realize that you've missed like 2 straight weeks of vlogging, but that's okay. Because here we are, better late than never. Had a couple hectic weeks. As you guys know, what I do is I try to record this every week, right? So I have the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, so the video goes up on YouTube, the audio goes up on my podcast. But unfortunately, sometimes I get so busy that this is that item that falls off my to-do list for the week. And I'm going to give you an explanation of why I missed it over the last couple weeks. But what never gets missed is my weekly Monday morning Substack post. So anyways, if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to my Substack. If you're not, the link will be in the description. That always goes out Monday morning. So if you are one of those former folks who said, where the heck have you been, Josh? Well, if you were on my Substack, you'd know. You'd know. Anyways, let's jump into the important stuff here. It has been a crazy couple weeks. I think I mentioned this in the last update, but we've just had a very busy 2, 3, 4 months, which is a great problem to have, right? We're getting into that phase of growing pains where we just have a lot of law firms that are booking. If it's your first time listening, I run a Canadian immigration tech company called Visto up here in Toronto. And I think we've really kind of caught our stride because number one, our product has gotten, dare I say, quite good. And number two, we've just found some good ways to generate traffic. Google's been good for us. LinkedIn's been good for us. Referrals are starting to kick in, right? Once that snow, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, once that snowball starts rolling and it gets big enough that the referrals can then start kicking in, obviously that's good. I think we've kind of gotten to that phase. So anyways, we've been really busy. The problem for me has been, as we've gotten more clients, so I'll give you a quick breakdown. I co-founded the company with my good friend Alex. He's our CTO. He builds everything and he handles the support chat. Right? So if one of our users or clients or their clients are logged in and they have a problem, they can send us a message anytime in our support chat. Usually that is responded to by Alex, which is great. And I kind of do the rest in terms of sales, marketing, demos for prospective clients, closing clients, training clients, onboarding clients. So what does that mean? As we get more and more traffic, my calendar gets booked up. As we get more and more clients, I have more clients to do training calls with and onboarding calls with. So anyways, again, great problems to have. Please don't take this as a big complaint. This is simply a growing pain that has led me to be extremely busy and has led us to decide that it's time to hire somebody for customer success, right? So I'm kind of wearing a couple hats and we need to hire somebody to take one of those hats off of my head. Our decision-making, at least a little bit of it, if you care to understand a little bit of our decision-making, is I still think the highest value I can provide to our company at this time is selling, marketing, and sales. And so we're going to hire somebody to handle the training and onboarding, otherwise called in the tech world, customer success. So we're going to hire somebody to help us with some customer success. It'll allow me to focus a little bit more on sales, while still giving our customers our really high, like hands-on support and all that good stuff. That's been really helpful for us, or that's been really effective for us, I shall say. One thing that I learned the hard way, amongst many things that I've learned the hard way over the last few years, is it's one thing to sell tech. It's another thing, especially in B2B, like it's one thing to get a company to agree to buy your software, but then the second half of that is you have to get them to use it. Right? I was surprised. I thought, oh, if a company buys our tech, they're obviously going to jump in and start using it a lot and blah, blah, blah. Not necessarily the case. There are many firms that will, and they're great. But there are some firms that will buy your technology and then barely log in and barely use it. And part of that's on us, right? We have to make it easy to use. We have to give them some nudges. We have to train them. We have to stay up to date with them. You know what I mean? A little bit more hand-holding. And as soon as we learn that, we've just improved our customer success, our support, and that just helps set our clients up for success so that everybody's happy, right? They're buying the tech for a reason. because they want to implement more automation, AI, to operate more efficiently and save time. And we obviously want more clients so that we can continue to grow, right? So anyways, we've definitely made a significant increase in investment in customer success, which has helped. And now we're going to hopefully, it might take a couple weeks to find the right person, hire them, train them, onboard them, all that fun stuff. But I'll keep you posted in how it's going. Now, where the heck was I last week? Great question. We were in Montreal. I say we because Alex and I went on a road trip to Montreal for what I like to call the Super Bowl of Canadian immigration. So basically, for those who don't know, which is probably most of you because this is super niche, unless you're in the immigration space, up here in Canada, there's kind of two big events for the professionals. We have Canadian immigration lawyers, we have Canadian immigration consultants, and they do mostly the same thing, but slightly different designations. And once a year, there is a CBA immigration conference, and that's for the immigration lawyers. And then there's another CAPIC-led something conference. I forget what the name is, the national something. I forget what the name is, and that's for the consultants. Anyways, last week was the big event for the lawyers. It was in Montreal. So Alex and I hopped in his car. We went on a road trip to Montreal from Wednesday to Saturday. So we spent about 4 days there. 2 days were for the conference. And we also decided to just go early because, number one, a handful of our clients were going to be there. And number two, we have a handful of clients in Montreal. So it allowed me to set up some meetings. We had some dinners with clients. We met up with some clients. I had some coffees and stuff like that with clients. And then obviously at the event itself, we got to show off the technology, shake hands with more of our clients, catch up with more of our clients. It was great. It was great. But obviously it was busy because it's kind of funny. When you're like me, we're a remote company, right? So most of what I've done over the last 3-4 years has been from my office, right? And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing to the room I'm in right now. If you're listening on the podcast, well, you can't see me, so you should watch on YouTube. Anyways, and so it's kind of nice to get the heck out of the house once in a while, right? And it's a good reminder. I talked about this on my Substack post last week, I think. It's a good reminder that there's something extra to in-person. Virtual is great. I have a short commute. My expenses are low. I have a good setup here, right? But there's some extra magic or energy to in-person, not to get all woo-hoo over here, you know what I mean? But there's some extra something to in-person. So it was really nice to get out of the house for 4 days, shake hands, have conversations in person. I met a bunch of clients in person for the first time because we'd been communicating virtually, which is always fun. Probably the most surprising thing to most of our clients is how tall I was in real life. Because like one of our clients was joking, we get on these calls and we're just like a square or a rectangle box, right? So you don't really get the depth or the height of people. I'm pretty tall. I'm about 6'3". And so probably the most common comment I get from most of our clients when we meet in person is, "Whoa, I didn't realize how tall you were," which is kind of funny. So anyways, it was great. It was really good. I would say if you're in a rut, if you need to shake things up, if, I don't know, maybe you're stuck, you're stuck with sales or marketing, go get out of the house. Go set up some coffee chats, go attend a conference, an event, a networking event, something like that. It can help shake things up. The last little quick lesson I want to share before I talk about books is the business breakfast. You heard it here first. So I have some family in Montreal, and on the Thursday, I wanted to meet up with my uncle. We were initially going to go for lunch, and then he suggested, kind of last minute because he had to switch things up, if we could do a breakfast. So I met him for breakfast. Well, he picked me up, and we went for breakfast. And he was telling me about how great business breakfasts were, and I was totally won over. I was like, "You're 100% right." He's like, "Think about it. If you want to do a business dinner or lunch, it's going to be expensive. If it's a dinner, and maybe if it's a dinner into drinks, it's going to take a long time. It's going to cost a lot of money. You're going to get home late. You're cutting into family time. You know what I mean? Kind of sucks. If it's lunch, it's right in the middle of your day. What if your morning meeting goes late? Then you're staring at your clock the whole time to get to your afternoon meeting. Breakfast is amazing. first thing in the morning, everybody's fresh, they're focused. There's no traffic if you go early enough. Breakfast is like a cheap, healthy meal, right? It's not like going for an unhealthy dinner and drinks and you feel like crap the next day. So anyways, he kind of won me over with a business breakfast. I think I might start implementing that a little bit more into my weeks. So anyways, food for thought. Lastly, before I head out, I just finished last night, actually, this book. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm holding it up to the screen here. And if you're listening, you're missing out. I'm telling you, come check out the YouTube channel. It's called From Impossible to Inevitable, How Hyper-Growth Companies Create Predictable Revenue by Aaron Ross and Jason Lemkin. Really good book. It was given to me years ago. I want to say like 5-6 years ago by one of our advisors, Zachy. Shout out to Zachy if you're listening. Because at the time we were working on another company and I was helping on the sales side. And I didn't know anything about tech sales. Anyways, it's a great book about sales in general for any company type, especially though if you're building tech. And it goes beyond just sales. So it talks about picking a niche, market research, pricing, all like a lot of really building a team, really good stuff. And then it even has at the end, and I was reading this over the last few days because I just finished it, about working within companies, for companies, your own company, life advice. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. If sales is on your mind or you're struggling with it, I would highly recommend it as a read. What am I reading now? Oh, glad you asked. I just started last night the new Elon Musk book by Walter Isaacson. And I'm really excited because I love Walter Isaacson. I read his book about Steve Jobs, which was fantastic. And I've read a book, the other Elon book, which was written by Ashley Vance about, 10 years ago, which was also great. So I'm really excited because Isaacson is a great author and he's covering like the next. Well, he starts from the beginning of the story, the beginning of Musk's life, but it's also going to cover so much more of Musk's life, right? Because as we know, Musk is still out there doing crazy stuff, right? Buys Twitter, all the others, all his other companies are still chugging along. So I think the Vance book ended in like the early 20-teens, like 2012 or something. I don't remember, something around there. So I'm interested to read about more of his story as it continues. And the funny thing is, even this book isn't going to capture everything because Musk is probably going to continue for another 10, 20 years, 30 years to do crazy stuff. So hopefully somebody's getting ready to write the next one. So anyways, I'll have more info on that next week. It's a mother load of a book. It's huge. It looks like it's about 500, 600, 700 pages. It's a big, big book. So I don't think I'll have it done by next week, but I'll have a quick update and then I'll do a full review when I finish reading it. So anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in as always. If you're watching on YouTube, if you can give us a subscribe or a like, that really helps. If you're listening on the pod, if you can give me a quick 5-star review, or heck, if you like this, just mention it to a friend. Hey, I listen to this random Canadian immigration dude once a week, and it's kind of fun to follow along on his journey and hear him whine about all of his ups and downs. Anyways, hopefully you enjoy. Make sure you're on the Substack link in the description. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.